Hello guys, today in this video we will start a very important chapter which is center of mass and impulse momentum collision. So in the first part of this chapter, which is center of mass, in this video I will explain each and every detail of center of mass with some examples, and I will also explain all the possible its definitions and properties of center of mass. So starting with the first one, that the center of mass of a body is an imaginary point. You can read out, center of mass of body is an imaginary point where the complete mass of the body can be assumed to be concentrated. There are two important things which I am highlighting, that it is an imaginary point, and second point is that the complete mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated at center of mass. First of all, if I draw a ring and I say that its center of mass is at this point, then you can feel that the center of mass of the ring should lie at the center of the ring, which is a point in the space and not inside the solid part of the ring, and hence this point is an imaginary point because it does not exist physically. So it is an imaginary point. Center of mass is an imaginary concept itself. And if you are assuming that how do I know that the center of mass of the ring is at this center? So I would be explaining, or I would be deriving it mathematically in the later part, but you can do an experiment that you can tie the threads on the ring, very thin threads like that, and all the thread will intersect at the center of the ring, and you can apply your finger at this point and you can balance out the ring from this point. So this means that ring has a center of mass at the center of the ring. So obviously the center of the ring is an imaginary point which does not have any physical existence. Therefore we can say that center of mass is an imaginary point. And also the fact that the complete mass of the body can be assumed to be concentrated at the center of mass is also itself the correct explanation of center of mass, that why it is called as center of the mass, because the complete mass can be concentrated at that point, and you can replace the complete system by a single point mass having a mass equal to the mass of the system, and you can place that point mass at the center of mass. And you must have seen the toys, bird toy like that, whose center of mass is at this point, and you can apply a force which is equal to the weight of the bird in the upward direction, and you can balance out the complete bird. Now the second point is that each physical system has some point associated with it whose motion characterizes the motion of the whole system, which means that there is a representative point in each system by which you can represent the motion of complete system by that single point. And when that system moves under some external forces, then this point moves as if the entire mass of the system is concentrated at this point, and also the external force is acting at this point for translational motion, and therefore this point is called as center of mass, which means then that when this system will move under the effect of any external force, then there will be a definite point of the system, inside the system or outside the system, where the complete force acting on the system will be acting at the single point, and the complete mass of the system can be concentrated at a single point of that system, and the system will behave like the same as if it is behaving practically. So you can see an example that there is a X and you are throwing this X like that. So this X will rotate and will translate about this single point, you can see, and this single point in the X will follow this path and this path will be called as the motion or the trajectory of the x, because we are representing the x with the center of mass of the x. So this is the center of mass, and you can characterize the motion of the complete system by the motion of the single point, which is the center of mass of the system. Now if a force which is equal to the weight of the body is applied at the center of mass of the body in the opposite direction of the weight, then the body attains translational or rotational equilibrium. This statement seems to be somewhat difficult, but it is practically very easy one, that we all once in our life will balance a pencil or a pen on our finger, and while balancing, if we imagine the free body diagram, we can see that our finger is applying a force which is equal to the weight of the pencil in the upward direction, and the pencil is neither rotating or nor translating, which means that our force, net force on the pencil is 0, as well as the net torque on the pencil is also 0. And I'll explain you in this case. So this is a system in which there are two masses. This is m1 and this is m2. The force of the mass m1 is m1g, and this force is m2g, and this system is being kept on a hinge, and this m2 is greater than m1. So if m2 is greater than m1, the center of mass will lie somewhat nearer to m2, and if we see that the weight of this complete system will be m1 plus m2g, then we are applying a force F which is equal to m1 plus m2g on this system at this point, which is the center of mass of the system. We have already calculated that, and this force is applied in the opposite direction of the weight. So the weight of the system is acting in the downward direction, so this force is being applied in the upward direction. So if I will apply this force which is equal to the weight of the system in the opposite direction of the weight by the means of hinge, then this system will neither translate in downward or upward direction, or neither it would rotate in any direction. So it will attain translational equilibrium as well as rotational equilibrium. Now in the next important point, that it is not necessary that the masses are equally distributed around the center of mass. This is a very big myth in the people, that the masses around the center of mass are equal, or I can say that the masses on the either sides of the center of mass are equal, and therefore that point is center of mass. This is completely wrong assumption, and you can see itself in this example that if this mass is greater than this mass, then the center of mass will lie somewhat nearer to m2, but again we can say that the mass at the right side of center of mass is m2, and the mass on the left side of the center of mass is m1, and m2 is not equal to m1. So this is completely wrong assumption that the masses on the either side of the center of mass are equal. Now the center of mass is an imaginary point, and hence it can lie outside or inside the body as well. So you can see that there is a L shape of rod, and its center of mass is obviously at this point. So this is a point which does not lie in the solid mass of the rod, and it is a imaginary point which is lying in the air or free space. And again, this is a ring, semicircular ring, whose center of mass is at this point. I will also find out this length in the later part. So its center of mass is at this point, and this point is also not lying in the solid mass of the ring, as well as it is lying in the free space. So we can say that the center of mass is an imaginary point. Now in this point, this is also a very important point, that for a system of masses in which the distribution of mass is not constant, the center of mass is not at the centroid of the body. Just imagine a pencil in whose pencil is obviously cylinder, but it is in shape of a cone. So you can see that the center of mass of that cone shaped pencil will not lie at the middle of the pencil, geometrical bisector of the pencil. And similarly, there is a triangle. You can see that it is a triangle whose upper part, this part, is made up of a density of material of density of rho, and the lower part is made up of a material of density 3 rho. So the centroid of this equilateral triangle will still be at this point, this one, but its center of mass will lie in the heavier region of the triangle. So center of mass and centroid may or may not be the same points. Now this is very important point, that many people are very confused regarding center of mass and center of gravity. So first of all, I'll define the center of gravity. That center of gravity is a point in a body or a system at which the resultant gravitational force can be assumed to be concentrated. Now it is very important to note that I am saying that a resultant gravitational force. I am not saying the resultant gravity, because you know that the gravity is the gravitational pull of Earth, and the gravitational force is the net gravitational force of all the masses which are situated around. So the center of gravity is a point on which the resultant gravitational force is assumed to be concentrated. Now generally the center of mass and the center of gravity are the same points, but when the gravitational force or a gravitational field is non-uniform, then or we can say that the size of the body is comparable to the radius of Earth, then these 2 points are different. Obviously we know that there is an example that there is a body on the Earth and it is lying on the Earth, and on the Earth we assume that the gravity of the Earth is gravitational field of the Earth is uniform, and hence the center of gravity where the complete gravitational pull of Earth can be assumed to be concentrated will be the same point where the complete mass of the body will be assumed to be concentrated, and hence center of gravity and center of mass will be the same point. But if this body is large enough so that it is lying in the space and it is exactly in middle of Moon and Earth, then Moon will also be pulling this body and Earth will also be pulling. So the net gravitational force will be obviously greater of Earth and it is acting towards the Earth, but the net gravitational force will be lesser than the previous one, because the Earth is also pulling the body and Moon is also pulling the body. So the gravitational pull is also varying, and hence the center of mass of the body and the center of gravity will be different, and center of gravity will be shifted towards the Earth because the gravitational pull of Earth is greater. So now again, if we have an object which is very large so that its size is comparable to the radius of Earth, so let us assume there is a rod whose length is r, where r is the radius of Earth. So if this rod is kept on the Earth, then the center of then we know that as we will move away from the Earth, the gravitational pull of Earth will decrease. Therefore the center of gravity, where the point where the complete gravity of the Earth will be concentrated, will lie in the lower half part of the rod, but the center of mass will still be the geometrical center of the body. So if the acceleration due to gravity is different at the different points of the body, then center of mass and center of gravity are the different points. So conclusively I can say that on Earth, for practical objects, the gravitational pull is uniform and constant, and hence for the objects which are lying on the Earth has same center of mass or center of gravity. But for those objects which are very large enough, which are comparable to the radius of Earth, or they are lying in the space, the center of gravity and the center of mass are the two different things. Now Now, how you can practically find out the position of center of gravity or center of mass on the earth? So to find out the center of gravity or center of mass, you have to suspend a body from a hinge or a pivot, and you have to wait for the body to attain stable equilibrium position, and you have to align this body in two different positions. So first of all, I am aligning this body, this one, from this point, and I am drawing a line. And in the second case, I'm aligning it in from this point, and I'm drawing the line again. So the point where these two lines will intersect will be the center of mass. And there is a very important fact that in the case of stable equilibrium, or in the case of equilibrium, the center of mass and the pivot point is the hinge point. Either this body is hinged on the roof or it is hinged at the floor. So pivot point and the center of mass will always lie in a vertical line when this body will be in the state of stable equilibrium. So this is a very important point to trace the center of mass practically. Now, so guys, this was a video in which all the complete things of the center of mass are demonstrated, and in fact I will be showing you in the next video that how you can locate the center of mass and you can find out the coordinates of center of mass. Thank you.